corporate recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is, I don't know, you didn't tell me. You've committed a grave error. You need to be specific, not just software engineers. Literally everybody. Your resume needs to be tailored to a job title. If it is not tailored to a job title, you will fail. But some industries, you need to break it down even further. Software engineering is one of them. Are you a Python developer? Are you a Java developer? Are you a C#.NET developer? Are you a full stack developer? Are you a front end developer? Is it AI? I don't know. You didn't tell me. All of them are different. So every single job you apply to needs a job tailored to that title, not the job itself. So if you see multiple, let's say, for example, Java developer roles, guess what? A Java developer resume will work for all of those, because you don't want to actually tailor to the individual job. That actually lowers your chances of getting an interview, not increases it. So can I find what kind of engineer this is in 20 seconds? Because that's all the time recruiters have. No, I can't. I don't think I can. This garbage resume. This person has a ratio of 150 to 1 or plus, which is how many applications it takes to get an interview, and anything over 50 is bad. So this is a bad resume, probably because they do not specify, but maybe I can find something here that others have missed. Probably not, though. And go. All right. Cross-functional developed in APR. Okay, so Python and Salesforce and AWS. Okay. Don't care about this. Processing times, Linux. You already mentioned AWS. PostgreSQL, but what is reporting data and why does it matter? It doesn't. CI/CD. And GitHub is okay. Agile sprints and nothing else. Yeah, this would get immediately declined. Yeah, this is not a good resume. So, first off, I'm going to make the assumption that you are a back-end Python developer. And what I want in a back-end Python developer is as follows. Right here. It's going to take me a second to get them up. Right there. So, this is what I need for a Python developer. Python, SQL, Docker, Cloud in its words, AWS, GCP, Azure, RESTful API, Agile, Git, CI/CD, and one of those in that stack, bonus for Kubernetes. So you're going to be like, Lee, he or she had that. No, they didn't. So first off, there's a difference between keywords and qualifications. A qualification is what we are looking for. A keyword is not. A keyword is part of a qualification, but it's not fully a qualification. And the reason this is this person has bad bullet points and they did not have enough of these. So let me read what they wrote. Maybe it'll change my mind. Probably not. Mainly looking for new grad, early career roles. Yes, you need to pick a stack. Have fixed my resume multiple times, reviewed it with many people. Not many people know what makes a good resume. Have received a couple of interviews, but no response from the grad ones I applied to. Okay, so, again, there's stuff that is salvageable, and honestly, I don't think this is really a garbage resume of 150. It's bad, it's really bad, but there are things that are salvageable in it. So, here's what you need to do. First off, pick a stack. If we're going for software Python, the only things I found were Python, got it, AWS, API, GitHub, and Agile, and SQL. That's 6 things. That's not enough. I need the rest of this. I need RESTful APIs. Also, your formatting is bad. This is really hard to read. This is bad formatting. This is good formatting. You need to use this formatting. It is on my website. This is how to do it. The link is below. It's free. Use it. It looks ugly, but that's what we want. We want to see the inner beauty of your resume, which in this case is the bullet points. So, on to the actual bullet points. These are bad bullet points. Led a cross-functional initiative, not terrible, starting off okay, to develop an authorized program analysis report, APAR. I don't know what that is and why you're telling me about that. Using Python. That part's good. Salesforce API, okay, and AWS, but you said AWS Lambda, which may be different than just AWS, so that doesn't necessarily count. Streamlining internal workflows and reducing processing time by 15% for 10 blah, blah, blah. I don't care. At no point is any job going to ask you, hey, Bob, you know what we need right now? The only people that are qualified are those that reduced processing times by 15% for 10-plus company technical account managers. When you look through resumes, Lee, you need to make sure you find somebody that has reduced processing time by 15%. No, that's not relevant. So you had me in the first half, right? This is fine. You lost me here. And instead of all this junk, you can just say, to improve our internal workflows or something. Like, you need to explain it to me in a way that I would understand and the hiring manager understands. And you don't want percentages or numbers. Unless you're a manager in sales or project management can have some, you don't want numbers. They make it worse. Those are not impact. Those are random words that you just barfed out. So then we get down to the second one. Automated configuration management. All right, for Linux. All right, that could be one. It's rare. It's not on this list, but that may be a bonus. For messaging systems, why do I need that? On AWS EC2, good. Using Ansible, don't really care about, nor Bash. Improving system reliability and eliminating configuration draft deployment process. Why do I care about system reliability? No one's asking for that, right? Like, if you look on the job boards for Python roles, they're not asking for this. They are asking for this, but they're not asking for supporting internal workflows by reducing processing time or improving system reliability. They want to know what it's used for, right? But this doesn't really show me. And I understand you're an intern and you're not going to be reinventing the wheel or anything, and that's okay. But, like, you need to tell me what you did in a way that the person reading it understands it. Because remember, I have 20 seconds. I have roles that are in maybe healthcare, accounting, software engineering, oligonucleotide scientists, which I did fill those roles before. They don't know. And it's possible the manager doesn't know either. And then again, optimize PostgreSQL queries. We're not looking for optimization. We just want to see that you used those, right? So created X using PostgreSQL, and then I need more, right? Each bullet point needs to have 3 of these at a minimum. Built CI/CD pipelines. Good. That's actually a good start. For integrating automated test and deployment workflows via GitHub Actions. Good. Enhancing release reliability and deployment errors. You could just say to reduce deployment errors. That's fine. You don't need to say enhancing reliability. Collaborated. What do you mean collaborated? Collaborated is a random word. I want to say worked with. I want to see stuff that you've done. You don't want to use fancy schmancy corporate language, right? In emails, you want to use corporate language. On your resume, you want to make it bare, basic, and boring. So, yeah, is this resume the worst thing I've ever seen in my life? No, not at all. There's some salvageable stuff here. You had sort of the right idea. The problem with it, though, is there's just not enough of these. And you need about 75 to move forward. B, your bullet points are really bad. They don't show me... They show me the what, which is the keyword, but they don't show me the how you did it or the reason or result of you doing it. And you need both of those to move forward, which you don't show. And some of them just don't contain enough of these. So, and your formatting's bad. So, do you need to burn this and start again? No, but there are a lot of improvements you could use to get your first job. And I will let you know, your first job out of college is going to be the hardest job search of your life. In fact, I'm going to restate that. Any job search where you are trying to get your foot in the door is going to be the hardest job search of your life. Getting your first job in any industry is the hardest. So I want to make sure I'm being hard on you so that you can fix your resume, so you can get started in the career, so that you can go far and be amazing and then, you know, insult me on Twitter or whatever. Or X, or I don't know what it's called. So that is why I'm doing this. I'm not trying to say you stink. You don't. Your resume does. You don't. Just want to make sure you get a job, because right now we are in a recession and it's tough, right? I am a corporate recruiter. I'm admitting it right now. The job market is terrible. It is garbage. It is the worst ever, no, but it's absolutely terrible in at least the last 10 to 15 years. So I want to make sure you stand all the chance you can get. And if you need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Share this with your friends and family. Repost it. I want to help as many people as I can get a job. So, next, resume. This is a resume of, again, I don't know. You didn't tell me. You said Rust software engineer, which again, I did not find a single Rust job. You said technical co-founder, which is a completely different job than a software engineer, which is a completely different job from other software engineers. So, I have no idea what I'm supposed to look for in this resume. What did you tell me about this? You told me that you have 150 plus applications. That's it. That's the only thing you told, is that nobody is moving you forward. And the reason nobody is moving you forward is because I don't even have to look at this. I'm going to make an assumption and then look at it. Is nobody knows what you do. You need to be as specific. If your resume is not tailored to a job title, you will fail. You will just fail. Every single job title can make a resume, with the exception of marketing, because marketing is so weird, y'all. They have the weirdest job titles. Like, every other industry is relatively the same. You would have 7 different titles for marketing, and they'd all mean the same thing. So, not counting marketers, because that's over there in that corner. We're not talking about marketers right now. For everybody else, you need to pick. So if this is a CTO resume, guess what? That's different than an IC resume, which is individual contributor, which is what a software engineer would be. And I couldn't find anything on Rust, because that was just, I couldn't find it. So you didn't leave me a note. So I'm just going to have to look at this and see if maybe I can figure out what it is in 20 seconds, but probably not. And I think it's quite accurate because nobody else is doing the same thing. So, and go. Stakeholder relationships across blockchain industry, coordinating with developers. Okay, but like, what is stakeholder alignment? That's not actually something they care about. Cross-functional matrix team members. How many of them? Simultaneously manage 5 concurrent projects, 67 budget. I don't care about. What is this? Yeah, I don't know what this is. I don't know if you're a CTO. You don't have enough tech experience for a CTO. You don't have enough management experience for a CTO. You don't have enough software for a software engineer. I see nothing about Rust. Nothing about this resume makes sense to me. And this is the problem. So wait, with global chapter presidents, what's a chapter president? I don't know. You didn't tell me. And if you're talking about management resumes, there are ways to write those. You do need some numbers. But in this case, I actually need to know how many people you did, right? If it was a cross-functional matrix team of volunteer developers and it was 4 of them, that's a lot different than 40, but you didn't let me know. In addition, I don't really care. This actually, no, I'm going to take a step back. If you're going for management, this is a actually good bullet point. It's showing me how many projects and the budget of them. Now, I will say, $67K budget for 5 concurrent projects is not much. And you didn't tell me anything else beyond that. Strategically allocated 67 what does that mean, 67 420? I can't even tell if that's a real number, or you're trying to make a 67 and the other type of joke with that. Like, I can't tell if that's a joke or not. But like, you're mentioning it again. So yeah, nothing in here reads as a software developer. Maybe this is a manager. Do I have an actual manager qualifications up? Let's look at it. Manager. Oh boy, I have like a lot of them. Let's see. I kind of have a director one. But anyway, so what we'd be looking for a manager, which is probably going to take me too long to find, I'll be honest, on my list, is going to depend on what it is. Like, is it a marketing manager? No, this is a software developer manager. Is it? Because I don't see anything about software besides hackathon. Nothing in here would actually mean anything about software. Okay, no, I cannot find it. So, we need to delete this whole thing and start again. Pick what you're going for. Are you going for a CTO? Because I don't know if you are. Like, this doesn't read like a CTO to me. This reads more like a project manager. Because if I'm looking for a CTO, here's the ticket. If you want to do a non-IC role, I want to see that you've hired, fired, and done performance reviews. Those are magical words in a high-level resume, is hired, fired, and done performance reviews. If you're going for a director level or a CTO, which is Chief Technical Officer, I need more about how you did it. I need to know the reason you did it. Like, what does it mean, manage stakeholder relationships across blockchain by coordinating with leadership and businesses using agile and iterative customer feedback loop to pivot program formats, ensuring stakeholder alignment? This sounds like nonsense words. Like, you know what I do want to see you say is led 5 teams while gathering stakeholder feedback to stakeholder and customer feedback to create our X program, which was well received or something, right? Like, this tells me nothing. This reads like AI. I don't know if this is AI or not. All I know is it's a bad resume, which is why you should not use AI, is it's really bad at resume writing. Exercised influence? No one talks like that. Without authority. Now, hold on. If you're a CTO, then you would have the authority. I really don't know what you are. It really reads to me more like a project manager than anything else. And like, what were the stakeholder conflicts? Were they deciding on lunch and you decided that was it? Like, well, they couldn't decide between sandwiches and hamburgers, so we went with both. And there we go. That was resolving stakeholder conflict. But you need to tell me the details. For manager and above roles, you need those details more than anything. In fact, most of the time, the how you did it is more important than the what you did for like those higher level roles. For software engineers, no, I really do want to know what you did. But for higher level roles, how you did it is important. And you've told me nothing. This entire resume has told me nothing. All I know is you had a budget of $67K. And managed 5 projects. That's it. That's all I know. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board and A, pick what you want to go for, and B, write it in a way that tells me how you did it. Because for a manager, that is the most important thing of all. Next, resume. This is a data analyst, and this was the font they sent in. So I actually have to increase this because my eyes are not that good. So yeah, A, make sure your font is correct. This is why this looks like this, and this is 10.5 Arial is what you want everything below the contact section to look like. So everything below this line should be 10.5 Arial, and spacing should be 1.5. Otherwise, your resume is going to look like this, and this is barely legible. I have to kind of squint, so y'all have to suffer with the formatting as much as I do. So what we need for a data analyst is degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders, how you solved a problem with the data, not what the data is. That is what every new data analyst messes up on, is they tell me so much about how they got the data and it's not relevant. We want to know what you use the data for. MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, and a bonus for cloud. So, can I find it in 20 seconds? What is this person's ratio? Let me actually look. 150, so no, probably not. This is a bad resume, which, again, font-wise, definitely. So, let's see if I can find it in 20 seconds. I have to increase this even more. There we go. I'm aware that y'all can't read this, but I have to. There we go. I'll try to read this. All right, go. Okay, data, machine Linux, understanding of ML architecture, that's not related. Don't care in model design. Python and SQL is fine. All right, rejected. I mean, this doesn't... If I don't find what I need in the first two, why would I move forward? Develop Python, great background for... Again, that's not it. All I see is Python and SQL, which, again, is something we are looking for, but we're looking for more than that. So yeah, this will be a definite rejection. So what did you say? I've applied to more than 200 jobs, but have not landed a single interview. One of the reasons might be visa status. That is true. Visa status is going to hurt your chances. A U.S. citizen that gets a 1 in 7 to a 1 in 10 ratio would, as a candidate that needs a visa, get about a 1 in 30 to a 1 in 100, which I really hate saying, but I have helped people on visas get jobs. They have followed my advice, but it's still, you're not going to get a 1 in 15. If you're really, 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 really good, a 1 in 30. Average after using my method is a little bit less than 1 in 100. So, let's see. One of the reasons might be visa status, but apart from that, I feel my resume is lacking and what I can do better. Yeah, you need to delete this and do it again. I mean, there's really nothing here. Like, first off, your font is hard to read, because this is what it came into me as. This is hard to, this is so small. I have very bad eyes. I can't read this. These eyes are terrible. If somebody has to, like, in the 20 seconds, has to zoom in 3 times to make it legible, it's bad. So this is the formatting you should use. Second is these bullet points don't contain what I want. Like, why do I care about machine learning? Like, yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of AI, but where's the SQL? I didn't find... There it is, sorry. I saw SQL and Python, but where's Excel? Where's what you solved with the data? Where is talking with stakeholders and explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders? Where is the data visualization? I don't know, and because I don't know, I can't move you forward. If you were a citizen, you would still probably have a over 150 ratio, because this has almost nothing I would need. Like, did I get the wrong resume? You said a data analyst. Maybe I got the wrong resume. Spoiler alert, if you see this video, this means this is the right resume. Yep, that is it. This is the right resume. What about this is a data analytics? I mean, maybe I don't even know what you're trying to go for here. Like, that's kind of the thing is you need your resume to be tailored for a specific job title, and this is not tailored to data analysts. Maybe this is tailored for something else, but I don't see it. Because this has literally nothing I need. This has, the only thing I need is Python and SQL, and I need more. This has Python, which is good. And RESTful APIs, which I don't care about. Like, why do you have RESTful APIs? Why do I care about RESTful APIs? I don't. You're a data analyst, not a software engineer. Engineering scalable extraction pipelines, so I don't care about that. For Python, you already mentioned Python here, so you don't need to mention it here. Yeah, there's just nothing related here. Like, this is closer to a Python software engineer than it is a data analyst, but it's still not either of them. So I'm going to need you to go back to the drawing board and figure out what you want, because you're putting in stuff that you think is impressive, right? You're putting in stuff that you think is relevant, but that's not the case. For data analysts, this is relevant. And I know this because I've gotten plenty of data analyst jobs by following this advice. And having to get you all to trust me to do this is the hardest part. Once you put this in, it's pretty easy. Although you are in a steeper uphill climb because of your immigration status. But yeah, like, I just don't... this is not a data analyst. If you're applying to data analyst roles, there is nothing in here besides Python and SQL that I see that I need. In fact, where is Excel? Where is Excel? Let me Control F. No Excel in this resume. What about stakeholders? No. What about explaining stuff? Nope. What about... I mean, that's like half the resume right now. Data visualization. All the way at the bottom, no one's going to read that far down. And you also didn't tell me about Tableau, Power BI, or Looker. So yeah, you need to delete this and start again. There is nothing in here that tells anybody that you are a data analyst. And I'm not talking about titles. I'm talking about the bullet points. This is what they need. If it's not here for a data analyst, it's not relevant. Next, resume. This is a intern. So all interns need the same things unless they're masters. They need a degree, or at least to show you meet the education requirements, a basic knowledge of, which in this case is going to be the tech stack, so language, library, SQL, cloud, maybe a little bit of AI. For other industries, it's going to be whatever that industry stuff is. The ability to work well with others and takes direction and criticism. And I'm going to tell you, everybody does not include the second two, or the last two, and the last two is what really gets you a job. So this person has 150, so this is probably another terrible resume, but let's see if I can find it in 20 seconds. All right, and go. Okay, degree, good. No, okay. What is it with everybody putting auth 2.0? Yeah, that's okay. All right. No. All right. Yeah. So they have some of the tech skills, but I only really got down to like here-ish. So let me see what they said, but they just don't have enough. Also, it's really filled with a bunch of irrelevant stuff. Mainly the second bullet point has nothing I need. Yeah, I have literally, there's nothing here I need. Well, it has API, but that's it. Currently a third-year student. Have been applying to multiple internships, but only gotten a few online assessments, but no direct interviews. I'm not sure what's going wrong, and it's frustrating. So I have no co-op lined up for winter and summer, and any feedback would be appreciated. So your resume is not good. Your first sentence is not bad, actually. It's the rest of it after your first sentence that is bad. So first off, this is a nightmare of formatting. The only purpose of formatting is so that I could read farther down in your resume. Guess what? I can't read very far in your resume because of your formatting. So, use this. This is better than this. This, easy to read. This, hard to read. So, no underline here. No bolding here. This should be one line and it should be italicized. If you can fit it. Sometimes you just can't fit education in one line. You should at least try, though. Then down here, this and this need to be italicized, no bolding. In fact, nothing here should be bolded. The only thing that should be bolded is your name, the education, the experience, and the project down here. That's it. That's all. So then we go down here and deployed secure membership platform serving 150 users. I don't care how many it served. Using Next.js, React, TypeScript, Tailwind CSS, and Supabase PostgreSQL on AWS. That is a lot of words. Some of them I actually care about. Mainly don't care about Supabase. This is not a Nicki Minaj video, nor Tailwind. I care about CSS, but not Tailwind. So, supporting real-time engines. So again, this is not terrible. It could be shrunk a little bit. Your real problem starts here, though. Integrated site-wide authentication using Auth 2.0. Nobody's asking for Auth 2.0. They're asking for RESTful APIs. They're asking for APIs. Nobody's asking for Auth 2.0. I think I've only seen like 2 jobs that ever ask for that. Context APIs, just say APIs, and row-level security policies. What's that? That's not important. With role-based access controls, don't care. Predicting user data across number of users. So you could safely delete this and probably put the API somewhere else. And then we go down here, which is actually pretty solid. Yeah, you already have APIs right here. I actually missed this sentence because your formatting was so bad. So I actually missed this part. Worked in an agile team of 4 developers. Okay. Contributed to sprint planning, code reviews, and feature updates using Jira and Confluence to work together. You don't need to say for efficient collaboration. Stop with the corporatization of your resume. I understand once you're in corporate, you will need to act corporate-y. You do not need your resume to be like it. If your resume reads like a corporate document, it is a bad idea. It should read like a government document. Boring, precise, and to the point. So, you have some of what I need. I'd say you probably got enough of the tech stack. You have React, Next.js, CSS, PostgreSQL, AWS. So yeah, the problem, and you kind of have working well with others. I think this could probably be written a little bit better, although nobody could easily read it because they probably see that this is unrelated here and then skip down. And then the problem is you don't tell me how you take direction and criticism. That is critical. Again, you are an intern. You are not here to lead others. You are here to be led. And being led is important. Someone may say, hey, your code is bad. Change it. And you need to. Some of the comments below will need to show how they take direction and criticism if they read what they say about me. You need to show that. But a bigger problem here is just that this is not related. Like, they're going to see ROS2 and then they're going to be like, what is that? I don't care about that. And then Linux and not care about it. And then they're going to see these numbers and be like, I don't care about that. And then their eyes are going to gloss over because it's so hard to read and they're not even going to read this. So you need to make this simpler. In fact, I need you to think of a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, a parent, a sibling who you told them, I'm so excited, I'm doing very well in my computer engineering class, and they say, oh, I'm so glad we have somebody mechanical in the house, I'm having trouble turning on my PC, can you help me? And it's not plugged in, and I need you to write your bullet points for those people. And I understand that is infuriating, but that is why you need to put takes direction and criticism, because that anger you feel, they want to make sure you don't take out on them. So that is why those are important. So I need you to go back to the drawing board. I don't think these are terrible sentences. Some of them are, and I want you to look through, and I do want you to delete this. This actually is a terrible sentence, should be deleted. Completely delete this. Rephrase these with less numbers. This should still need a number. This should not have a number. This should not have a number. This should not have a number. And make it simple for those people, because those are the people, and including the managers. Sometimes those are your managers. Guess what? Sometimes you get a manager that probably shouldn't be a manager, but they are. And once you do that, you will start having more success. As long as you apply early. Remember, the faster you apply, the better. That's why you need to search for jobs based on the recency that they were sent out, not necessarily the relevancy to the role. So I tell you that in the guide I made below. But yeah, your problem is this is too complicated. It has too many words and the formatting is so bad that their eyes are glossing over and they can't read it. So make it for that person you imagine who has trouble turning on your computer, and you will, in fact, get more interviews. Next, resume. This is, I think, a C#.NET developer. I'm not fully certain, but I think it is, based on what they said. So, what we're looking for in C# is .NET, C#, SQL, Cloud, MVS, Git, Agile, REST APIs, CI/CD, some front end. Again, I don't know why, that's just what was there. Cross-functional, DevOps, ASP.NET. This resume is bad. It's got a 1 in 100, but it's also not 150. So I'm assuming to find one or two things I need, and the rest I won't. And let's put the clock up and go. Okay, I can't use anything here. Architected, good word. For social media metrics, for APIs, yeah. Designing service layers and database. This is really small. I have to increase this. Managed backend and internal systems. You already mentioned API. Backend solution connected. Develop high-performance SQLs. API with JavaScript, and declined. Yeah, that's about a 1 in 100. So you actually have the problem of you did not mention an ASP.NET. You did not mention .NET. All I see here is, yeah, backend service. Okay, so what did you say to me? I don't feel good about this resume. Your hunch was correct. Although it's not, like, again, this is not the worst resume ever. Like, I want to be clear. It's not good, but there were worse ones in this video by itself. So, feels a bit unbalanced, though I cannot put my finger on what that is, because you don't mention what stack you are. You don't show me that you are a C#.NET developer, which maybe you are. I don't actually know. I'd like to hear you bashing it, hoping for this going to say, yeah, I mean, it's like, I will say this. So, again, part of a qualification is keyword, how you did it, reason or result you did it, and where you did it, right? Those are the four things that make up that makes a qualification. You actually have the how, you have the reason or result well, and you have the where you did it. Your formatting's bad, but you don't have the what. You don't actually have the keyword. Like, I don't think it's going to take you long to fix this. And this is why you may have had some success, is because you actually have the correct sentence structure, which again, I actually like. You write these correctly. All you really have to do is say architected backend services using C#.NET, and then the rest of that, like C#.NET, Cloud, and Git. And then the next one, say manage backend maintenance and development with more keywords for our APIs. So normally you don't want to just plug and chug keywords, because that's, again, we're not looking for keywords, we're looking for qualifications. But you wrote how you did it correctly. You wrote what you did correctly. You wrote where you did it correctly. You did not tell me what, though. You make it so that I am assuming I know your stack. Never assume. That is like one of the biggest resume rules, besides double checking your contact information, is if it is assumed that you know X, you do not know X. Never make the assumption that X is implied. If it's implied you don't know it. So all you really have to do is just kind of plug and chug these into these sentences, because these are pretty solid sentences. They just literally don't contain what I'm looking for. So like this, rewrote JavaScript logic. I need a little bit more. And implemented and optimized image handling and enhancing SEO and reducing load times. Cool. Developed high-performance SQL queries and applied Redis caching API. So I just need more, right? I need 3 keywords per sentence at a minimum, max of 6. So 3 to 6 keywords per sentence, and then that's it. Because you did not do it like the other people on this one. You wrote these correctly. You just did not tell me what these were. So yes, it doesn't work, but I think you're probably too hard on yourself. You almost got it. Should take you like an hour to 30 minutes max to fix this. So, also formatting wise though is bad. You need to delete the summary. You need to make sure this is not underlined. You need to make sure nothing here is bolded, and it should look like this. But bullet point wise, you're ahead of the game, which again, I would always prefer every single time bad formatting if it makes it so the bullet points are good. Ideally, both formatting and bullet points should be good, but the bullet points are way more important. So that's all I can do for this resume. Please like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment below or share this with your friends and family or repost it. Whoever you know that needs help, I'm here to help everybody get ahead of their job search. And if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I will see you all in the next video.